Chad's out. Back tomorrow. Bruce St. James in today. Good to see you, my friend.
Great to be here.
All right, Becky Lynn had the breaking news, and we're going to cover it.
Yeah.
President Joe Biden going to Israel. Why is he going to Israel?
I think I know.
Okay. Because there are 20 things off the top of my head. What's the number one reason?
Number one reason I would say is to show our support for Israel in the region.
Okay.
Our best friend, our closest ally, our partner in the region. But I think President Biden is also going, and he's telegraphed this punch a little bit already, to try to encourage Israel to minimize civilian casualties and to not attempt to occupy Gaza. And that is going to be his counsel, his advice, if you will, to Bibi Netanyahu.
Occupying another country is...
Can I tell you how that
brutal.
Turned out?
It hasn't turned out.
Can I tell you how? Well, they've done it before.
Yeah.
Israel has before, and it hasn't turned out well.
Well, I mean, we can talk recently about Afghanistan, where for 20 years we went in there. And listen, we killed a lot of terrorists.
Yeah, we did.
Okay?
We killed a lot of Afghans also.
We did. I believe that it was the right move to go into Afghanistan after we got hit on 9/11, and they were, housing terrorists over there, and we went over there and we killed them. Unfortunately, after 20 years of being there, it was time to get out. And unfortunately, we handed it right back over to the Taliban, who we took out.
And they run it today.
And now they run it today. Yep. And that's a really sad thing. And I talked to a lot of former soldiers that, part of, in their mind, they say, I don't even know why I went over there.
I can understand that.
I can understand it too, but I always say, I know why you went over there. And I appreciate why you went over there. And it's not going to be lost on any of us why you went over there.
Separate Al-Qaeda from Afghanistan or the Taliban.
Yeah. You guys went and killed a whole bunch of bad people.
Al-Qaeda was a terrorist organization. Yeah. Whether we like it or not, Taliban is a political movement in Afghanistan.
Yeah. But you can't occupy a place for 20 years. We went into Iraq. We occupied Iraq. That was rough, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so Russia tried to go into Afghanistan.
Didn't turn out well for them either.
No. So I don't know what occupy the Gaza Strip looks like.
Well,
I don't know what that would look like.
If at some point, I mean, I'm playing this out, and this is history repeating itself. If Israel were to, and it appears they are going to attempt to, go into Gaza, remove Hamas, who, by the way, are the elected government of Gaza.
The Palestinian people voted them into power.
It was a while ago. Don't get me wrong.
How while ago?
15 years, 16 years ago, that they were elected. And I haven't seen like public polling. I doubt they do very much of it about how many Palestinians still support Hamas, and that number might be changing by the minute. But if they remove them, well, then Israel is going to become the de facto government of Gaza. I mean, somebody's going to be the government there, or else you've just created a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Right?
And does that mean that Israel puts in its own government, like what America did with Afghanistan?
Again, how did that turn out?
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't last. But I don't know so if you're just joining us.
There is no good answers. Is that fair to say?
No, of course not.
There's no obvious, and we'll say obviously should. Yeah. I don't think that exists in this.
You're just joining us. The President of the United States is headed to Israel.
Yeah.
You think it's safe enough for him to go? I think some people will wonder that. It's one of those things like, I don't know. I don't have a really good analogy, but Israel was attacked so brutally and so horribly. Right. That it might be the safest place right this second because they're so on alert. Every soldier is walking around.
I would put it this way also.
You know what I mean?
That Hamas's ability to create harm is now, since they've been repelled from this invasion, and that's not going to happen again anytime soon, is firing these missiles, unguided missiles. Basically, it's like lobbing mortars into the thing.
It's not going to work.
Well, they have no idea what they're going to hit.
Right.
They go up in the air and they come down wherever they want. It's like shooting a gun in the air.
Right. The Israelis have 90 seconds to
and they can use this Iron Dome. They can shoot them down. And so I think Israel is, while maybe not the safest place on earth, be an understatement of biblical proportions. Right. I don't think it's unsafe for the president to be there, and there certainly would be a lot of stuff in place.
Oh, sure. Are we being forced to pick sides?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's a really interesting question because
don't you feel so?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm siding with Israel. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not. That's the deal. That's for me. But that's not as simple as it sounds, right?
I was going to say, now I would say I don't think there's a moral equivalency between the two, between Israel and Hamas, which is why I lean towards Israel. But play along with me.
Sure.
I think Israel has the moral high ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest difference between Hamas and Israel is Israel acknowledges Hamas exists and and the Palestinians are people. Hamas doesn't agree or even agree to the idea that Israel should exist. How do you negotiate with a group that wants to wipe you off the map? Like, I don't see where that's not even to me.
Yeah.
The problem I have, and so this is me not trying to walk it back. So I'm on Israel's side. Israel was attacked. It was heinous. It was horrific. There's nothing Israel's done in its history to justify it. Full stop, period.
Yeah.
Israel can't get baited into, which is what I think Hamas is trying to do, can't get baited into doing the same thing to the Palestinians,
right,
because I think the rest of the world can then say, well, they're both just killing babies and women. Who cares?
Yeah, there are innocent Palestinians that are in the middle of this thing, and that's terrible.
Yes.
There are men, women, and children that are Palestinians that don't hate the Jews, and they don't
would never
hate
do
Israel.
anything to hurt anybody else.
No, and they want to live their lives, and unfortunately, they voted for a terrorist group. But I don't know. I'll tell you right now. 15 years ago, I don't know who else was in that election. I have no idea.
Fatah, but that's only because only because I really pay attention to this crazy crap.
Right now, but I mean, did they even have a choice? Was it a real election?
Right.
I mean, who really knows?
Right.
I don't know what happens over there. What I will say about Israel is this: what other army in the world pauses their attack because they've warned the people to get out?
Yeah.
What other army in the world pauses their attack and puts their soldiers at greater risk by warning the enemy as to try and give civilians a chance to leave?
To clear out, yeah.
So, you talk about the moral.
Things,
there is no moral equivalent.
Agreed.
There's none. Is there going to be casualties within, folks who are Palestinian? And is it going to be horrible? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And that is awful. But Israel didn't go over there and rape every woman and burn kids.
I don't disagree.
And cut off their heads.
But
my God.
At some point, does Israel, I won't say lose the moral high ground, but at some point, does it become 50-50? Does it become negligible? If you kill enough, quote unquote, innocent Palestinian women and children and babies and, sick people in hospital. I mean, at some point, when the numbers get to be something, again, I'm only looking at, I'm not Jewish, I'm not Israeli, I'm not Arab, I'm not Palestinian. I'm looking at it from the outside saying Israel has the moral high ground. Israel has the decent people of the world looking at them going, you guys were brutally attacked and you need to defend your country and defend your people and do what you need to do it. If that involves indiscriminately on some level killing innocent people, there's going to be a number when they're going to lose that moral high ground.
Yeah, I think the question is, and it's an impossibility. How do you go into the Gaza Strip and kill Hamas and leave innocent Palestinians unharmed?
They don't wear uniforms.
No, you don't know.
It's, at least, I say at least, Ukraine and Russia, hey, they're wearing uniforms and they got tanks. Like, I can tell the battle, what's going on. Those guys got the blue. Those guys got the red. Like, you understand who's on whose side.
Right.
Hamas is a terrorist organization. They look like everybody else in Gaza.
Yeah. It's bad. And,
Agreed.
The fateful hour is possibly near. And that means, I'm reading articles just the other, when we were in the expansion.
Yeah.
Iran warns of preemptive action against Israel.
Here we go.
And if that happens, I don't know what we're going to do about it. But Joe Biden, the President of the United States, is headed over to Israel. So
show support.
We'll keep you covered on that. All right.